If you're feeling like the Amazon marketplace is too oversaturated, or if you're struggling trying to find products to resell that actually make a profit, then this is the video you've been waiting for. Today, I'm going to bring you right along with me to one of my favorite suppliers. And I'm going to show you step by step how I'm able to find so many different products that resell for a higher price on Amazon. But really quick, before we get to that, go ahead and subscribe to the channel and like this video. It really helps our metrics and it keeps us coming here every single week making free videos for you, teaching you exactly how to sell on Amazon.
An awesome supplier where you can get some good wholesale prices without having to open up a wholesale account is right here at the Webstaurant store. Now, what I like to do is just scroll through, see what types of things are on sale, and what I'm really looking at is for brands. So then I can search those brand names into Amazon and see what's selling. Down here, spices do typically pretty well. So let's come here first. Okay, so the brand is Regal Spice. Now we can see, typing that into the Webstaurant store, that there are 469 results. So that is a brand we definitely have access to. Now let's do Regal Spices on Amazon. And what we're looking for are prices that look too high. Now right here, this first one, that's only $9.70. So given all of the different fees and the cost of goods, that's too low. Right beside that, however, I see onion granules for $32.99. So that seems like a pretty high price. Let's go into that listing. So we're looking for granulated onion, 5 pounds. And I think we found it. 10,2092, 10,2092. So right above that barcode, we see that same number. So I know this is the exact same product. All right, so we can get our hands on this for $16.80. Now we're jumping over here into our ProfitGuru Chrome extension, and we're going to put in that sale price, $16.80. We can see the estimated Amazon fees for this are going to be about $11, and the profit will be in the ballpark of around $5. The extension is linked right to my Amazon seller account, so I can see if I'm eligible or not to sell the brand, and this says that I am eligible, so that won't be a problem listing it. Estimated monthly sales isn't too high. The BSR is not that strong, but let's look at the competition. So there's only one seller on this product, Maryland Wholesales, and they're not the brand who set up this listing. So I feel safe jumping onto this listing and not being hit with a violation. Now on the Keepa chart right here, I can see that pink line right there, the buy box price, that's staying nice and steady. So we can pretty much count on it selling for this price. Now these green lines here, I can see that between the drops, there are some gaps of time. So it's not like a super fast mover, but given that there's only one other seller on this, we would definitely make sales if we jumped onto it. And this is such easy prep. We're just going to print off the FN SKU and put it over top of that barcode right there. Boom, done, put it into the box. So is it a ton of profit? Not really, but it's such an easy flip with really only one other competitor on this listing. Even if we only sold 10 units a month off of this one product, that's an easy $50 in our pocket for doing very minimal work. And we found that super fast. These Mexican oregano leaves, that price is a little lower, but it's only for a 1 pound, whereas the onions were 5 pounds. So let's see if we can find that for a good price. Regal Spices, whole Mexican oregano leaves. And it looks like this one right here, 1 pound. Same thing, I just like to check the numbers, 10, 200, 103, and we'll jump into that listing. And this is the same product. So we can get our hands on this for $8.45. And again, that's giving us ballpark of about $5 every time we sell one of these, which super easy to prep. Estimated monthly sales, maybe in the ballpark here of around 20, but it looks like there's only 2 FBA sellers. Same thing with the Keepa. Our buy box looks nice and steady, and we do see some gaps in between those green lines, so we know that they're not flying off the shelves, but they are selling. And we have 3 sellers here, only 2 of them being FBA, which that Maryland Wholesale, that's the same one that was the competitor on that first listing. So it seems like this seller, Maryland Wholesale, is doing the same thing that I'm showing you right now, and they're using the Webstaurant store for supplies, because that's 2 listings now that they have been a seller on for profitable products we found. Again, not the strongest rank, but because there's not a lot of competition, Same thing with those other ones. If we get 10 sales a month, which we should be able to do, that's another $50 in our pocket. Between those two listings that we just found, the first one, the onion granules, and this one, the oregano leaves, now that's an easy $100. Let's see if we can find some more. The celery seed is kind of in the middle in the pricing. It is for 5 pounds. Let's see what it goes for at the restaurant. Legal spices, celery seed. Looks like this one right here, 5 pounds. All right, it looks pretty good. Let's try our profit calculator. The cost price of $11.50, and the same thing here. Now, this isn't an exact science. This is a really good estimation, but we're going to get around the same. I always like to maybe just go $1 under just to be safe. So as long as I'm seeing it say at least like $3 or $4 profit, I know that there's probably profit there to be made. So for this to say 6, that's good. Is it an actual science? Are we going to make $6.28 for sure? No, but it's going to be close. Only one FBA seller here. Same thing, about estimated 20 units per month. We see some gaps there. So we're seeing some trends here with this brand. They're not flying off the shelf, but they are selling, and there's not a lot of competition. However, this Maryland wholesale, they're 3 for 3 now. They're also on this listing, and they're the only FBA seller. So if you're doing FBA, then you would be the main competitors with them, winning the buy box over Pioneer products, especially because their price is way higher. So again, in a month's given time, we should easily be able to sell at least 10 units. That's another easy $50 in our pocket from these 3 products. That would give us a total of $150 for the month if we're only selling a minimum of 10 units. But this brand seems to be a really good find. Like I mentioned, easy to prep, and I love that there's not a lot of competitors here. I bet if we keep searching, we'll find some more. So the next row, those prices definitely don't seem high enough for me to even search out. So let's keep scrolling. This taco seasoning right here, that seems like we could definitely find it for cheaper than that. 5 pounds right here, so we would be paying $16.56. Pop it into the calculator. And again, same trend. There's profit here. Is it selling very fast? No, but it is selling. Let's see the competition. Go figure. Maryland wholesales again. So what I'm really curious and interested to do now is to storefront stock them and see what other products they have. Because chances are they're finding the same profitable products we are, using the same supplier. So they probably also have other products from the restaurant store that they've already found for a profit. So we can just piggyback off of what they're doing. So I do want to finish up doing this with the Regal Spices to see if I can find any more on that first page, but I am going to click right here so I don't lose her storefront and open up the storefront stalker. So now she's not going anywhere. We have her plugged right here, her ID into the storefront stalker. As soon as I clicked that eye, it plugged it right in. And now we have access to all of the products they're selling. And it looks like there's just over 600 of them. So what I could do now, it is time consuming. This is not a get rich quick thing. I can search every single product that she has and see if I can find it on the restaurant store, because it's looking really good. Like she's using the same supplier and she's probably not selling things that aren't profitable. So I'm definitely going to get right back to storefront stocking after we finish with these Regal Spices. So make sure that you keep watching until the end so I can show you exactly how to then use her storefront to find even more products. The cayenne is almost $30. Let's check that out. 5 pounds here, $15.99. That's a little high, but we'll check it. This one is definitely getting a lot more sales per month. $15.99 for our cost price. So yeah, there's a little bit of profit here, but what I like to do is think $1 under, because no profit calculator can ever be exact. So let's say $2.63 profit just to be safe. Then I know I'm going to have to pay shipping to get this product to Amazon, and it is 5 pounds. So that right there, considering the weight of it and that we're not seeing a ton of profit here, it's going to eat away our profit in the shipping. So this would not be a good one. Garlic powder, $41. Let's check that. The keep, it doesn't look too bad. It seemed like it was spiked and then it dropped down here about $35 and then came back up. So there's a little bit of fluctuation right there. But for sellers, there are no FBA sellers. All of them are FBM sellers. And we know a lot of buy boxes like to be favored by FBA sellers. So if I jumped onto this, I would be the only FBA seller and therefore have a really good chance of winning the buy box. But let's see what price we can get this for. Right there would be our 5 pounds and it's $16. So there is definitely going to be profit with this one. Yeah, that's really good. And knowing that we would be the FBA seller and we'd be owning the buy box, I would probably keep it right there around that $41 mark, because yes, there's gaps here in time, but it is selling for it. So even if maybe we wanted to drop it $1 or $2 just to guarantee that we're going to get that buy box because we're FBA and we have the lowest price. And there's also other things that you have to take into account when it comes to winning the buy box. But doing those two things will definitely help us to win it. And then we could guarantee about 10 sales from this, minimum. So that would be an easy $100 right there selling this garlic powder if we sold 10 units a month and we made $10 profit doing so. Anyone that says it's too hard to find products to resell, they're not trying hard enough, because there are millions of products out there. And we've already found like 5 products using one brand that we found on Webstaurant Store. And there are hundreds of other brands there to do the same thing with. This dill weed seems a little high. Let's check it out. So we need to find the 32-ounce container. Dill weed. And there it is, $13.21. Pop it into the calculator and boom, about $5 profit. And we're definitely selling more of these a month. The estimated monthly sales look pretty good. The BSR is stronger than the ones we were previously seeing with the Regal Spices. And down to the competition, only that one FBA seller, that Maryland Wholesale. So this is an amazing one to jump onto. Those drops are much more tighter than some that we've seen in the past. So I'd say this would be an easy 20 units a month, easily, for $5 profit each time one sells. We are just finding money today with Regal Spices and the Webstaurant Store. All right, now we have here Regal Spices Savory Grill Seasoning. And it was only the 16-ounce one. So that's only $3.63. 16 ounces, $3.63. That's a ton of profit here. But the problem is with the Keepa, it's not showing any sales. And the reason is because this is only for £1. That price is way too high. But there's only one seller on this. So right now they're controlling this listing. They can list it for whatever they want. So if we jumped onto it, we would be the only FBA seller and we can control the listing and list it for whatever we want. So even if I drop this down to like $18.99, that's still a ton of profit right there with this one easy product, and we won't have any competition. So I can't see from the data how well it would sell right now, because the only seller on this, they're listed way too high. They're not going to make any sales for that price. But we can jump on it, put a fair price, and then do a test order of maybe 10, 15, 20 units, see how many sell in the month, and then we'll know for the next month going in. But there's definitely profit in this one and no competition. The next one that I found for Regal Spices is cinnamon sugar. This one looks like a really high price. So we have 5 pounds here, and we can see that right here for $15.07. 15.07. So a little bit of profit here, not a ton, and the sales look about the same for those first 3 that we found. So they're not flying off the shelves, not a ton of profit. And given that this one is 5 pounds, I probably wouldn't go with this one either, because that shipping to Amazon is going to eat a lot of that profit away. But there might be a little bit there to squeeze out if you wanted to test it. Now here's what I'm interested in doing. Those were really the top priced ones that I saw for the Regal Spices on Amazon to reverse search. And now I am doing the storefront stock. So that same seller that we saw on so many of those Regal Spices, the Maryland Wholesales, I think the name was, let's start looking at some of her products and searching them into the Webstaurant Store to see if there's profit. So the very first one here is Mike's Hot Honey, 24-ounce chef bottle 2-pack. Let's see if we can find it. And there it is right there, chef bottle, 24 ounce. So we would be getting 4 of them for a case, and the case would cost us $56.81. So $56.81, we're going to divide that by 4. That is $14.20 each. And this is for 2 of them. So based on my calculations, that is $28.40 for the 2-pack. And the listing price is almost $50. So there might be profit here to squeeze out. That seems like a good difference. So I'm gonna hover right here over the ASIN and open that in a new tab. $28.40. That is really a good profit. Really good profit. I can't believe how much these sell for. I've never tried these. If you've tried these, let me know into the comments. Is it worth paying $50 on Amazon for 2 bottles of this stuff? I'm intrigued because the Keepa here is amazing. The BSR is 300. The 30-day average is 283. This is flying off the shelves. Look at that Keepa. Oh, and there they are, Maryland Wholesale, the first FBA seller we see with the lowest price, and they're winning the buy box right now. So this is an amazing one to jump on. There are a ton of units flying off the shelf, and that is good profit. And again, something that's not too hard to prep. First, I would worry about the top of the bottle. I would tape that down, and then I would put bubble wrap over both of them together, then put it inside of the poly bag. On the outside of the poly bag is where you're going to put the FN SKU, and you're also going to put a sticker that says this is a set so that the warehouse knows not to open it up. But not too much prep, a few more steps than the spices, but the profit and how many are selling are worth those extra steps. This seems like a very profitable listing to be on. And I didn't check the eligibility to sell yet, but it looks like I am eligible. I might be buying some Mike's Hot Honey because this is a nice listing. Let's see if she has anything else. I mean, we know she has a lot here. And what I would do literally is go through each one. I'm going to personally myself, I'm not going to do that on camera with you because it is going to take hours to do. She has a lot of products. But right now, for the purposes of this video, I'm just going to look for products that seem like they have a really high price and a good chance of us finding it for cheaper. I try to stay away from products like this, those gallon jugs. They could get damaged, they could get dented, they can spill, and they're heavy. So some things that I'm looking at when I'm storefront stocking is, number one, I'm looking at the image. So when I see those big jugs like that, I typically skip past that. The next thing I'm looking at is I'm looking at the lowest price. So this is the lowest price that it is being sold for on the listing. And then I'm seeing here what my ROI would need to be. So in order to sell this Cattleman's and get back 25% ROI, I would need to source this for under $5, which doesn't seem doable. And Nikipa over here shows us that Amazon has been on it steadily. So I don't want to compete with Amazon anyways because there's enough listings that they're not on. So if I don't have to compete with them, I don't. But that's kind of what my eyes are doing when I'm moving back and forth. I'm looking at the image, looking at the price, and then comparing that to these break even and these ROIs. Then if that's looking good, my eyes go over to the Keepa. I'm seeing if it looks like it's a steady seller. If it kind of looks like it's a slow seller, well, I'll come right here to the sellers and see how many sellers are there. Because even if it's selling slower, if there's not a lot of competition on it, that's okay. I'm fine jumping on those. But if it is going really fast and it's a great seller like this one here, there's also 12 sellers on it, 11 of them being FBA. So that's a lot of competition. So that's kind of how I move through our storefront stalker fast and why we set it up this way, because it makes it a lot faster to source through products. So these ones caught my eye here. Carnival King popcorn kits, 6 FBA sellers. They seem to be selling well, and that lowest price, that's a high price. Let's see if we can find these on the website. And it looks like it might be this first one here. All-in-one kit, 8 ounce to 10 ounce, 24 case. 8 ounce to 10 ounce, so it looks it. Let's go into the listing. 8 ounce popper, 24 case. So this seems to be a match. So for that case of 24, we would sell the whole case. It would be $23.87. Now you'll notice here, these are the discounted prices where you're buying them in lots. So you're buying more than one unit. If you're just buying one, you do pay a little bit more, but it's not much. But 10 is a good test buy anyways, so I would just plan on buying that 10. So it looks like there is some profit here, and because you're just selling the whole case, that is really minimal prep work. The thing that concerns me here is the item weight of 11 pounds. So that means if I was doing FBA, I could only fit 4 of these cases in one box because I can't go over 50 pounds when you're shipping to Amazon unless the product itself weighs more than 50 pounds. But that's not the case here. So that means we would be paying roughly $5 per unit to ship to Amazon, which that's going to take away a lot of our profit. So even though you might find something that looks profitable, this looks good, the Keepa looks great, not a ton of competition, it is selling a lot. Because this is so heavy, it's going to eat a lot of that profit away. So your end profit won't be that high. It's definitely going to be significantly lower than that. So you always want to do that. You always want to think about all of the costs associated, especially if you're using a prep center. Always put those costs in there too when you're trying to figure out your bottom dollar and your total profits with everything said and done. Dole pineapple juice, that might be an easy one to just find anywhere. You can get that brand right at Walmart. Pack of 2 for $17.99. So there it is right there. It is the 46 ounce can. So for 2 of those, it would be $7. That's cutting it close, but we can try it. $7. Yep, so no profit there. Keep on trucking along. It seems from a quick glance looking at these things that the best products we kind of already found with doing the spices, those regal spices. But that Mike's Hot Honey, that sure was a winner. All right, I'm going to switch it up a little bit. I'm kind of getting a little bored looking through her products because a lot of them aren't looking great. They're right on the cusp. A lot of them are just not enough profit for me to want to invest in. So I'm going to switch things up a little bit here. And this is what I do a lot. If I get bored doing one strategy, I'll switch and do something else for a little bit, and then I'll come back to this later on. So I'm just going to come back here now and look at some other products they have. Let's go food and beverage, and maybe I want to do beverages, but I think I'm going to go to condiments and sauces first. Let's do Asian sauces and glazes. So the first thing here to kind of catch my eye is the soy sauce seems really cheap for a gallon of it. Me personally, I get kind of nervous selling products like this just because I know it has to be bubble wrapped and packaged so well. But if there's enough profit there, I'd be willing to give it a try. So this is $6.69. China Pat Co. soy sauce. China Pat Co. soy sauce. And there it is right there. And it is going for much higher. $6.69. So that would be not bad profit. So if this is something that you would want to gamble on and really look into what the weight might be for the shipping, definitely consider those types of things. But it seems like there is some profit here. And oh, there's Maryland Wholesale. She is on this one, but there's only 2 FBA sellers on it. So even though it's not flying off the shelves here, it is selling and there is some profit here. It might not be enough worth your while after you take into account the shipping, but if it's something you want to try out, everybody has different strategies. Some people like Walmart. If you think of Walmart, they don't go for a lot of profit. They're looking at volume. So their profit that they're making on each unit probably isn't like $10, $15. It's much lower than that, but they don't care because they're selling millions of units. So that's kind of the concept here with wholesale. Your profits probably aren't as big per unit, but you're selling hundreds or thousands of units. So those smaller profits add up when you're selling more units. But things like this, the Asian, the sauces, the glazes, these are products that people typically have a harder time finding, and they usually sell pretty well on Amazon. So you probably find profit if you look through here and then cross-reference it onto Amazon. But what I want to do is I really want to go into the beverages. Torani. So this is a good brand. They have a lot of different flavorings and syrups. So we could get our hands on that brand here. I see a lot of different Torani products. The singles are only going for around $12, $13. So paying $6, there's no profit there. But what about the sauces? Let's try that. So right here we can see a little bundle, the Torani caramel and the Torani dark chocolate sauce. And that's a high price. And this is Amazon's choice. So this might be something worthwhile. So let's search Torani sauce. And there they are. $4.60 for the 16.5 ounce caramel and the same price for the dark chocolate. So that's $9.20. $9.20. That is really good profit here. But you can see how when things get bundled together, it definitely increases their value and it increases your profits. And that is selling really well. There are only 3 sellers on this. None of them are FBA sellers. So I would say the highlights of the day are going to go to the Mike's Hot Honey and this caramel sauce duo right here. Really good profits. But those spices that we started out with, those are so easy to prep. Literally just put your FN SKU right over top of the original barcode. Something like this, really minimal prep as well. You just want to keep those products together. Again, make sure the top is secured, put them together into a poly bag. You can even bubble wrap it before you put it into the poly bag to keep it extra safe. And then the FN SKU goes on the outside because this is a bundle and you want that sticker that says do not separate. Keep these together, it's a bundle.
Making multi-packs and bundling different products together, also with throwing in something that somebody else can't reproduce, that is such a great way to increase your sales and increase your profits. I do have a little mini series all about how to start bundling and the steps you need to do. So if you're into bundling, then go ahead, look through my videos, and you will find my bundling mini series. But if you've been around long enough and you've been trying to find products on Amazon to resell for a profit, then you probably already know that multi-packs and bundles are definitely going to help increase those sales. And there was our adventure arbitrage today together. I hope it was super helpful for you, and you can see just how easy it is by going to different suppliers, loading up those products into Amazon, finding ones that look like they're going for a high price, then using your ProfitGuru extension to see if there's actually profit to be made, how all of this can be smoothly done and help you to more easily find products that resell for a profit. Our Chrome extension is pretty new, so if you've tried it already, let me know down below what you're thinking of it, and if you're missing something there that you wish the extension had, also definitely let us know that. We love to get your feedback when it comes to the software and how we can make it even better for you. That's it for this video, and I'll catch you in the next one.